Pew, pew. Error, error, please sit on my face. Grandma's Boy, released in 2006 and is directed by Nicholas Goosen, who made his feature-length directorial debut with this film. And this movie is starring Alan Covert, Linda Cardellini, Peter Dante, Shirley Knight, Joel David Moore, Kevin Nealon, and Doris Roberts. Alex is a 35-year-old video game tester that has recently been evicted from his apartment, and the only place that is willing to take him in is his grandma's house. So now Alex needs to find time to work on his video games and clear all the bugs in the game that is about to be released, while also doing chores around the house and hiding his pot from his grandmother. I mean, really, that's the plot here. We really don't have a conflict or a problem until like the last 10 minutes of the movie. I remember watching this when I was in high school and thinking this was the most hilarious thing I have ever seen. I really loved this film. Watching it now, it's very surface level. I think a lot of the jokes still land with me just because I have the nostalgia of watching this movie back when I was an impressionable teenager. But as an adult and not watching it for at least a decade, I realized that this is a very surface humor film, and a lot of people who are watching it for the first time probably think it's fucking stupid. Because it is. It's a movie about a guy who smokes pot a lot and tests video games, who apparently is like the best video game tester the company has, because he just is. We don't care why or what training he has. He just does well. And then he goes home and smokes pot more, and then goes to work again, and then comes back home. He needs to work on his video game, but the only TV in the house that his grandmother is letting him live in is being occupied by her and her lady friends, who are also roommates in the house. So that is really like the main struggle and the main conflict that we're dealing with for the majority of this movie, is just this pothead trying to find time to work on his job and what his boss is requiring of him to do. As I say that out loud, is such like a normal day, regular occurrence with so many people, especially in this country. But here it is, someone made a movie about said someone doing those things. And we don't go really into any depth at all with these characters. We just go to each scene, and each one has a comedian in it that has a little burn or a little dig on someone, and then that kind of sets up another scene that we go to. And the pacing is all terrible. There are scenes in here where there's like something said to the side, and then we just get like one joke, and then we move on to the next scene. And you ask yourself, why was this scene even here? We could have just gone directly into this other scene. For example, towards the end, when the lead video game programmer is showcasing his new video game that he stole from Alex, just before the meeting scene happens, we get a short little scene with Alex and one of his co-workers, and he's like, hey, do you know what this meeting is about? We never saw, like, how he knew about the meeting. He just heard that there was a meeting. So he goes up to the guy, he's like, hey, do you know what this meeting is about? And the other comedian's like, no, but it's probably about how I fucked your grandmother last night. And then Alex kind of like shakes it off, and then he goes into the meeting. Like, what was the point of that scene? There's so many times in here where I'm asking myself, what's the point of this movie? What is the point of this scene? It doesn't lead into anything else. What is the point of that character information? Never comes back to resolve itself. What the fuck are we doing here? And then I realized to myself, this movie's about smoking pot, about people that smoke pot a lot. So I would assume that those making the movie were also probably smoking a lot of weed, a lot of the Frankenstein, a lot of the Hulk smash, a lot of the thing that makes you think you have antlers and you're a deer. And then they rolled the cameras and said, action! And that's how we got this movie. And as I hear myself talking about this movie and talking about all of those issues, I still find myself really enjoying this movie because it brings back so much nostalgia of watching this with my friends. Not while we were smoking pot. I've never smoked pot in my life. But just thinking that this movie was so freaking hilarious. And a lot of the jokes are, like a lot of the burns and the word plays and all of the wit, I think is still hilarious, and it's very clever stuff. In terms of story, though, there is nothing here. We finally get a plot, and we finally get a story in the last 10 minutes where JP plagiarizes and steals Alex's video game that he's been working on privately for many years. And in order to prove that, Alex brings in his grandmother, who's also been playing this at her house because, you know, her grandson lives with her, and she's able to defeat JP. And then JP is called out on his plagiarism. That's it. We finally have something that we're striving to defeat and overcome for our characters, and then the movie ends. Up until that point, it's just people smoking, drinking, and talking about fucking their mothers. If you grew up with this movie, if you watched this back when you were like in middle school or high school like me, you probably do enjoy this movie, or at least you have a chance of enjoying this movie. Anyone watching this brand new or giving this a shot when they're in their 30s watching this movie, you probably just shake your head laughing at this and you go, oh my god, I'm also 35. What the fuck am I doing with my life? I may or may not have done that to myself while watching this movie for this review. I'm gonna give Grandma's Boy 2 out of 5 Blu-rays. I've had better. So guys, if you've seen Grandma's Boy, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.